Isn't it interesting how material gets around sometimes? I think you were telling me the other week how somebody in another country has been following your shockwave material, huh?
Well, here's what happened with that. I was I was on YouTube one night, and it just you know how you can stumble upon something. You know, you looking at something, and one thing leads to another. You have a link, and then another link. Anyway, I was searching for something in Baltimore music. I can't remember what I was searching for, but anyway, up came Shockwave and the song "Bad Attitude," and I thought, "Wow, who put that up?"
Yeah.
And so anyhow, I played it, and the, the there's two versions of the song "Bad Attitude."
Hmm.
There's the version that when we recorded that, and by now we were recording in New York. Shockwave was recording in Queens, New York.
Okay.
So Bob Knight was in the band, and he was the original singer on that. When he left the group, we got a new singer, and we went back to New York, and we recut the lead vocal track. We didn't erase Bob, but we just put the new singer on a different track.
Okay.
And this was back in the days when everybody was using the 2-inch analog tape.
Yes.
Nothing was digital.
Right.
So anyway, the new singer, Eric Kaminsky, we had him on all the. We redid the songs that I had written, and we recorded there, and had him sing on them. So, but anyway, there was still this original version with Bob Knight singing, and that is the version that ended up on the 97. Is it 93 Underground? Right?
97 Underground, yeah.
97 Underground. Okay, get the numbers mixed up. 97.3, wasn't that it?
96.7.
Okay,
But they
never
rounded
mind.
it up, yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Anyway, that album, Beast from the East.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes, you got that right. Yeah.
okay, the version that Bob sang is the version that was on that compilation album.
Yeah.
But anyway, this person ended up being from Greece, and he posted the song "Bad Attitude" on YouTube, and he had a thing on there that said, "If you know anything about this band, let me know," something to that effect. So I emailed him and I said, "Yeah, I wrote the song and started the band and all." So anyway, we ended up communicating through email, and I had a feeling that he was not in the United States, and the reason I thought that was I didn't recognize his internet provider. Like, we have, Yahoo and Comcast and things like the internet provider he had. I didn't recognize him. And so I looked them up, and they were a company in Europe. So I thought, this guy's probably overseas. So anyhow, we communicated a few times through email, and I asked him where he was from, and he said Greece. And I said, "Wow, how did you get the cassette?" Because in those days, this stuff was floating around on cassettes. And he said he got it from a friend in Florida. Somebody he knew in Florida had sent it to him. So I have no idea how it made its way around. But anyway, that's what happened. It ended up in Florida, then it ended up in Greece. And this guy's just a music lover. He had several other bands that are unknown that ended up that he put on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And so I found it just by accident. That's number one. It's an interesting route that the song took, the tape took.
Yeah.
And then a little while after that, I ended up putting that same version on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I did it as a dedication to Bob Knight.
Sure.
Because he was the original singer on that. And I can tell you, of all the people I've played with over the decades, he was absolutely the most dedicated person. He was more dedicated than I ever was.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have to say that, the most dedicated, committed person to music. So anyway, I ended up posting a video on YouTube acknowledging that, because he was well deserving of that recognition.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though on the other Shockwave songs that are on my YouTube channel, at this point, I only have the one of him singing. I'm going to have to go through my cassettes and see if I can find some other versions. Mm-hmm. But for now, that's the only one I have of him singing, and that's the song "Bad Attitude."
Yeah.
But I really felt he was deserving of the recognition, and he performed out with us.
Yeah.
We performed up in New York in a nightclub it's on Long Island. It's called February's, I think was the name of the club.
Okay.
But anyway, so he did a lot with us. He was instrumental in the creation of those songs. He was instrumental when those songs were he was an instrumental force in those songs when they were being written and rehearsed and recorded. And even though he isn't the voice on the other Shockwave versions, I still included pictures of him in those other Shockwave videos.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because I did not want to write him out of history.
Absolutely not.
I did not want to ignore his contribution and somehow obscure his pictures or cut him out because that's not him singing on that.
Oh yeah.
Even though he isn't the singer on those other Shockwave songs, he at one time he was, and he was very, very instrumental and very dedicated, and he was definitely a very positive force in what we ended up accomplishing with those songs and recording them. So by no means would I ever attempt to write him out of the band history.
Oh, absolutely not.
And so if he was in the picture with us, it went up on the internet.
Yep.
And then I did a dedication strictly for him, to him and for him.
Yep. So would you like us to share maybe the Bob Knight version?
Yeah, let's play the Bob Knight version.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's going on in that. If you'll hear kind of a lower deep grinding sound on that song, and you might initially think it's a guitar, and there is guitar in it, of course, but the more dominant sound on that mix is an Oberheim keyboard.
Oh, right.
And what I did, I played rhythm guitar on that song, and all of the little fills in between the chords, and the chords and the little guitar fills in between them that I played, I went back and I played a track on the keyboard.
Oh, sure, okay.
To match it. So there's a note-for-note matching of the Oberheim keyboard and the rhythm guitar part, and that's the version you're going to play now. Adam Miller was the lead guitar player on that.
Sure, Adam, yeah.
Yeah, excellent guitarist.
He's still around, too. He's still out there. He's got a project called Catholicus that I've heard some of the material on Facebook. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to chase him down, too, to do this show. And it's I think it's more of a religious rock, but it's heavy, and everything. And it's really good. It's good material. He's on my short list right now. Okay.
Yeah. I fell out of contact with him for a number of years, and then I tracked him down and called him about 10, 11 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And at the time, he might still be there. He was living in Western Maryland, that's a big area. So I don't remember exactly where, but I might be able to help you trying to locate him.
Yeah.
Or if he's on Facebook, you could just contact him.
Yeah, we're Facebook friends. We banter.
Okay, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yes, he played lead guitar on this, and on most of the other Shockwave stuff too. There's one song where he did dual leads on the song, but other than that, he was a soloist, and that's the main distinction between this version and the later version. Is the instrumentally the main distinction? Of course, different singers, but this version, the Oberheim keyboard, is more noticeable. It's in the other version, the other mix too, but it's not as prominent as on this one.
Wow.
So let it roll.
Let it roll. Here we go. Bad Attitude, Shockwave.
Rain falls on the city. Life ain't very pretty. No, some may call you the charm. To me, you're still on the farm. I owe nothing to you, 'cause you've done nothing for me. I won't stop to say goodbye when I leave this town, 'cause I got a bad attitude. I got a bad attitude. I got it bad, bad attitude. Yes, and I'm gonna take it out on you. Yeah, people always tell me, boy, you better change your ways. And I always tell them, you'll never see that day. No, I won't do what I'm told to, just to please your ass. I'm gonna be a bitch. Leave me on a bitch, 'cause I got a bad attitude. I got a bad attitude. I got it bad, bad attitude. Yes, and I'm gonna take it out on you. Bad attitude. Bad attitude. Sometimes you've gotta play dead if you wanna get ahead. But I won't roll over. No, like they want me to. I never take advice. I don't even look nice. You can keep on talking. Well, I just keep on walking, 'cause I got a bad attitude. I got a bad attitude. I got it bad, bad attitude. Yes, and I'm gonna take it, make it, break it. I got it bad, bad attitude. I got it bad, girl, bad attitude. Oh yeah, bad attitude. Yes, and I'm gonna take it out on you. Bad attitude. I got a bad attitude.
Great. Well, that brings back some memories because, I mean, that was the version, too, that went on the 97 Underground album with Bob.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I remember that well. You were also, I've got a pretty good list of 97 both Underground, both bands and personalities I've had on the show and everything. And I'm still trying to make my way around to get everybody. And what a great set of memories, 97 Underground. I mean, that was just, again, very, very supportive of us. They supported us, we supported them. And later on, too, I mean, the band Orange Seed Parade that I was in, we were not a heavy metal band, really, at all. I mean, we had a little bit of a hard edge, but we were probably closer to the Cult than anything else. And they gave us airplay and interviews and everything. We never got on their album, which we probably wouldn't have been a good fit for that. But they were just absolutely wonderful to us back then. Them and Rocks, a lot of ways, too, would be very supportive of our scene. I had Susan Hodges on not long ago, who was both a DJ on 97 and a writer for Rocks, and bringing back a lot of memories here, just from those days. They were fun times. When I do get out, I try to tell these younger folks what it was like back then. I mean, it's like when I drive past places that we used to play, and now they're a Home Depot or a CVS pharmacy, and I just kind of look at it, and I'm like, then I like kind of picture the building as it was with a whole bunch of people with big hair waiting in line to go in and see a band. And now you see people pushing shopping carts in and out of it, or the place isn't even there anymore. It's just a complete. It's almost post-apocalyptic in a lot of ways.
It is. Well, you mentioned CVS. Isn't that the drugstore that sits where the Act 3 and used to be?
Well, I know there's one where Network used to be.
Well, that was the same club. It changed names.
Oh, okay. Because it was the Sandbar, too, wasn't it?
It was the Sandbar also.
Okay, yeah.
When I played there, it was called Act 3.
Okay. I played there when it was called Network, and that was a great club.
It was.
That was a great club.
And now it's a drugstore.
It is. It's a drugstore. It's like I saw Metallica there when they were young,
Wow.
I saw Metallica, Wasp, and Armored Saint. I saw Saxon and Hurricane there. I saw Ace Frehley. Played there once. We didn't go over well in Orange Seed Parade there for some reason. We should have had that Blues Brothers chicken wire up in front of the stage. It was weird. It was like the places where we were hit or miss. Luckily we were more hit than miss in a lot of areas. But good Lord, the places where we missed. I mean, it was. Woo!
Yeah, I played there in Silver Queen, didn't play there in Tail Gunner.
Yeah.
Or Shockwave.
Right.
Either one.
Right.
Yeah.
But even, Maxwell's, I think that's something completely different now. That was a nice room, too. That was a very nice room. And I could just name a whole bunch of them, that we used to do. The Rage is gone. That was a nice room, too. You guys played there a number of times.
I played there a lot with Shockwave.
Yeah. And so also in Shockwave, too, I wanted to kind of get to the rest of the lineup. You had Adam, you had Bob and Eric, and then your rhythm section. You had Bob Fetchick, hell of a drummer.
Yes.
Hell of a drummer. Winter Sun alumni. You also had Bobby Trotta doing some recording with you.
He did bass on a couple songs.
Yep, and he was somebody that kind of took me under his wing, too, back in those days. I first met Bob and Johnny in Winter Sun. I think Bob Fetchick may have been in the band, too. Either that or they just brought in Ed Dilley. And they used to play at Calvert Hall a lot. That's where I went to school. And we used to love Winter Sun because they would play Blue Oyster Cult and Judas Priest and all the stuff that we liked, and not all that Aha and Wham and all that other bullshit back in those days. And so, we ended up talking to them after the sets and everything, and they were all really cool to us, and we looked up to them and everything. And then I ended up being Bobby and Johnny's roadie for a while when I was like 16 and I could first drive, and that was one of my first jobs making money, was roadieing for those guys. And then they would sneak me into the bars to watch them play, and I would learn by doing that.
Yeah.
And Bobby was just always a monster bass player, and I always enjoyed, just helping him out, and he was a good guy to learn from, too.
Yeah, I'm still in contact with him. He actually lives near me.
Yeah. And of course, I still play with Johnny from time to time. Whenever we get an Uncle Moldy show, and the two of us are out there. And, and then after Bob, and Bob was kind of, helping, the band move along, you ended up with a permanent bass player named Dave Reedy, I remember.
Yes. You were talking about drummers. There was actually another drummer, too, by the name of Joe Lee.
Okay.
And he had played on some of the recordings. And, now, we're talking, this was over 30 years ago, or around 30 years ago, give or take. I have forgotten who played drums on which songs. I forgot which ones Joe played on and which ones Bob Fetchick played on. Okay. But anyway, I'd have to ask them.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were the two drummers that played with us, and we actually had another bass player, a guy by the name of John Stark.
Okay, I think I've heard that name before, but I've not met him. That's just one of those names where you hear somebody's name a lot, but you never meet them. It's.
Yeah, He played in Shockwave. In fact, he's the one that named the band.
Is that right?
When we were trying to come up with a name, he was the one that suggested Shockwave. That's John Stark.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, he was in the group and recorded in New York, and then Bob Trotta afterwards recorded it. Well, and also in between there was Dave Reedy. You mentioned him. Mm-hmm. He was in there as well. He did some recording in New York with us. Yeah.
He's a Facebook friend too. And,
okay.
I've spoken to him. You know, we've bantered back and forth on Facebook a couple times over the years and everything. And I remember him. He's a real nice guy too. I think. Yeah. I think I actually got some roadieing work out of you guys too when you went to New York for that show, City Rock.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. We played up there twice.
Yeah. And
maybe ask him what songs he played on.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
I know he played on Wars Within Our Hearts. He played bass on that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he would be a good one since you talked to him. Mm-hmm. Ask him if he recalls which songs he played bass on in the studio.
Okay.
That'd be the key, in the studio.
Yeah.
Which ones did he record? Yeah, I talk to John Trotta all the time.
Oh yeah. He's a great friend. You know, I mean, I've known Johnny since. Well, I think I first met him in '83, and I'm sure you probably predate that. But yeah. Again, we don't get out as much. You know, there's not been as much demand for the Uncle Moldy show, and lately, I mean, we get out probably about 5-10 times a year. You know, whenever we're asked to play, we always have a good time, and then we go and hang out at the diner afterwards and get a bite to eat. And I have to say, he's probably one of my closest friends I've ever had in life. You know, through all the years I've known him and everything, and. You know, I have nothing but, you know, good memories of playing with Johnny and everything. And again, I can't say they're really memories because we're still together playing, you know. But both of them are just, you know, both Bob and Johnny. I can't say enough good things about.
Yeah, they're great guys. They are. I talk to John all the time.
Yeah.
And when I go to Baltimore, if I have time, I always try to see him for lunch.
Yeah.
And we get together for that. We go to concerts together sometimes.
Yeah.
Various shows we've gone to. Mm-hmm. You know, we've been to several shows at the Ram's Head. Yeah,
that's a great place to see a show.
Yeah.
I just saw UFO there right before the pandemic hit.
Okay. I've been there to see. Well, I'll tell you, my favorite band that I've seen there over the years is Wishbone Ash.
Yes. Yeah. That's one of, Bobby tells me they're one of his favorite bands, too. Of all time.
He went with us to one of the shows as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a Wishbone Ash show, yeah.
And I saw Uriah Heep there as well. They just played there. And then they did, like, that place, and, you know, that's not the biggest stage, you know. And
it's in a bad location, isn't it?
It is. It's in a tight location, but, you know, the shows always end up good, but it's just a little cramped. You know, especially when you're 6'6" and big.
Yeah. And all the people, if you're facing the stage, all the people to the left, they're off to the side.
Yes, they are, and that's a significant
I've often wondered why they didn't reconfigure that room.
Yeah.
And now, with it having been closed down for 3 months, would have been a good time to do it, wouldn't it?
Right.
During the pandemic, but I guess they're happy with it, and you know, they sell the tickets.
Yeah.
But it is a good room to see bands in.
Right. And, you know who I saw there too? I know you were a big Heart fan growing up, and you used to correspond with one of the Wilson sisters over the years. There's a band out there called Heart by Heart, and it's got the original drummer and the original bass player, but with other players. And they still do the Heart material and everything, and mostly the earlier stuff from when they were in the band. I think the original bass player and drummer left around 82 or 83. But
that would have been Steve Fawson on bass.
Yes.
Michael DeRozier.
Yes.
On drums.
Yeah.
I met the whole band when they were up and coming.
Yeah.
When they were supporting their first album, Dreamboat Annie. I met them after the show. Mm-hmm. They were playing a nightclub in Route 40 West.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of it at the time. Hollywood Palace, I think, was the name of it.
Okay.
and it later became Reflections. It's another club that had changed names many times.
Yeah.
But anyway, I saw them out there. I guess this was 76, 77, somewhere in that range, when they were promoting their first album. And that's how I just went up and talked to them after the show. And I took a lot of photographs of them. And I actually had some enlargements made, and I sent them to them.
Oh, nice.
And I had often wondered, did they ever get them? Because I sent them to a fan club address.
Right.
And then the next time I saw them play, Nancy had said she recognized me from talking to them that night and taking photographs of them, and she said, I got your pictures in the mail. Yes, we hung them up in our house.
Oh, that's nice. That's
nice.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty wild.